Fast forward, any come over channel, so I say AGH Politics Avenue. Political stories are trendy, make waves, make headlines, and a jembre na it be exum oaxi. Unia yamo in writing simu, not your Abrony incense seminuswa. Now we and a lawyer Martin Kpebu. And so it's me a chena being at a fat seni yachi Abrony and the quaya a bemu paying for Edeno air faso. Now what Cedi say. A quaya a court Eddie Abrony faso no and semfata and yana quines crown nipana yachina a semna casa quedu de bono no yen hwene yen casemono but say as a ye dib conditions be every national there be Ghana ya pasa de no substantive issue na kasa no yen tackle asem na nkasa this is court make say bia so onko jail so onye danyon eno no na ye ho se ye di asem no na anya afi na kwadam ni se na de chia no waba na e kira ni nsem bebre na we say na woti bibi se on attorney general edi nkomo na attorney general ebusan se enti de court ye nti lawyer enti hwe ne kwanso no se debi enye ne kwanso kra no Oni sama hodo be break also odi ono ankasa ajemre a okasa mumienwum na ehwe ne yakọ ne de ba ha ayi politics
one talk show right we are leading the charts uncontested and paralleled.
That's right,
and we'll continue to solve. Okay, so let me do the rituals as usual. Today I'll start a bit differently. Yesterday I was exceedingly glad when sometime in the evening Mr. Domlevo called me, Auditor General. What was his matter? No, he had gone on Facebook earlier, some hours earlier, to complain that he wasn't happy about how the Kwame Bafo Abrony, that's the MPP regional chairman for Bawumia, was being kept in custody. It was, heartwarming for Domlevo. You see it, that's leadership. So he wouldn't say, oh, because he's been made chairman of Iyoko, everything that's happening is good. He said, my brother, what's happened? Then he asked, can anything be done? I said, yes. Abrony doesn't have to stay in custody for the 1 week. Today, even today, if they want, Kpebu number 4. It was, the Supreme Court held that Saturdays, Sunday, Mondays, public holidays, the court can sit. So if they negotiate, the right processes can be filed. And even today, the judge can sit and then grant Abrony bail. We can't allow this kind of treatment to continue. Hey, if we don't speak up, it will grow and become worse. Look, if the police have any case against Abrony, concentrate on the merits. Let the actual trial go on. If he's found guilty, under the law, he will take the punishment. But don't use this buga communist inferior tactics. No, it's we've grown past that. And I'm happy that yesterday night, the Attorney General was called in. I understand he's doing something about it. So, Dr. Ayini, I always call him Prof, because he was my lecturer. So we are praying that Dr. Ayini will do us proud, so that latest by Monday, Abrony will be out. Look, the police, yes, Abrony said very many unsavory things against IG Younu, all right, and President Mahama. Yes, I'm not for one moment supporting those despicable statements he made. But it is not our law that bail be used as punishment. No. The law, Act 30, says don't use bail as punishment. If you believe you have a case, look, admit him to bail. Go on with the trial. At the end, sure. But these are misdemeanors. Even the big offenses, the Supreme Court struck down the law that prohibited bail. Yeah, I went to court. That's Kpebu number 2. That's Attorney General number 2. The Supreme Court saw that these matters of personal liberties are what? Part of our development. When we say development, it's not only about hospitals, roads, etc. Actually, our development starts with our mindset. If you are in 2025, but you have a 1930 mindset, you are not developed. Your development starts with your mindset. So this kind of mindset that, oh, let's teach them a lesson. Yes, I know. Kpebu&AG who went through that. Too many to recount here. But those days, the same thing. If you Google, you'll find out when Kpebu&AG who was picked. What I'm saying today was what I said 7 years ago, that I didn't believe that was the right way to go and he should be admitted to bail, etc. Oh, and let me say in passing, you know that Kpebu&AG who incident at the police headquarters? Yeah. Your colleague journalist, Lateef Idrisu, was hit on his head by the police. He suffered life-threatening injuries. You know what? Long story short, it was just by a miracle that one day I met him Long story short, then we had to help him to go to the US to do surgery.
Yeah.
They said, look, another few months you would have been dead. Another long story short, 3 years on, he still has to go periodically. As we speak now, there's a bill of $25,000 for his medical bills. So maybe, I mean, well-wishers who are listening, Latif Idrisu of Joy FM, look, his situation has been bad for the past 3 years. Over $70,000 gone into his medical bills. No, they couldn't do it here in Ghana.
Yeah.
He had to go to the US. So those who want to help, please reach out, Latif Idrisu of Joy FM. So that's the point I'm making. This thing about police being too, what do you call, exuberant, trying to please the president, trying to please the IG, and doing all manner of, they call it face fine or eye service. You see, in the forces, yeah, you do things to please their masters. It's long, this and gone. We threw that away long ago.
I've seen the proceedings in court yesterday, and the trial judge, the reasons he gave for as well remanding him into the police custody, that's BNI or NIB. It's quite questionable as well. You know,
I get
the references that he made.
Yes,
that you know, the IGP is a notable person in society, and so you've read that.
Yes.
You're not. I know I'm drawing you
a
into
good guy.
area,
I've appeared before him countlessly. There are other bail applications I did before him. Oh, he's a very nice man. Very nice. So this one, what we will say is that we don't want to do an overkill, okay? The main thing, and you know, this was the first time we are complaining. When the Galamsey matter came, Oliver and Co., we complained at this very table. We called out all the judges and said, no, we didn't agree. Our society was moving on, etc. What we would say is that because Dr. Ayini is stepped in, trying to see what he can do about it, we'll hold our horses, not comment too much. So, Dr. Ayini, we are in your hands. Please make us proud so that latest by Monday, Abrony will be out. Okay? This is not what we voted you guys to come into office to do. And I made that point clear. I was here saying, hey, let JM come. NDC, I mean, MPP had lost the plot. Let NDC come. And then less than 1 year, you're beginning this way. No. You'll be sure that we will soon move out our support if you are hard of hearing. If you can tone deaf. But I don't think we'll get there. No, we'll not get there. Once Dr. Ayini is stepped in, I believe he will do us proud.
I see. You say Kpebu number 4 deals with this.
Yeah, look, Monday, the fact that the judges are adjourned for a week doesn't mean they have to wait for a week. Even if they want today. But of course, because I can imagine that negotiating and doing certain things will take some time. So for me, Monday is a good day. But if today, they even want today, this afternoon, whether midnight, whatever time, it can be done. Tomorrow, it can be done. Because the courts have made it clear that they will sit any day. Even when the judicial staff are on strike, they are not working. The court can sit. That's Kpebu number 4. So, and that's development. That is development. The development starts with our mindset. It's not about hospitals and roads alone.
Thank you. You're not saying good morning to your sweetheart?
So, yes, and when you mention Kpebu number 4, court can sit Saturday, Sunday, any day at all. That's Yas Antoine's valedictory judgment. So for Akuffo, that was the last judgment she delivered when she was leaving, right? Seeing that there were too many abuses. You know, those days the police could catch you on Friday afternoon. It's still there, but at least it's gone down. The level-headed ones have stopped. Friday afternoon, so that Saturday they will say, but you know the court is not working. Sunday they will say, but you know the court is not working. No. So since 2019, we've done away with it. If you arrest him on Friday afternoon, before the 48-hour strike, you have to be in court. Sometimes the police misinterpret it. It says you have to present the accused or suspect to court within 48 hours. It's not that you wait for 48 hours to elapse before you start preparing. No. So meaning that if you enter the court, that's to say by the time the court starts dealing with the case, it's the 49th hour, you've breached the law. You've breached. And it's no answer to say that, oh, you went early, but the process is delayed. No. If it shows that you started maybe after 24 hours and it happens that eventually he entered court after 48 hours, you'll be held liable. That's how come to be safe. If you are very clear in your mind that you will not grant bail, then as soon as you arrest the person, kickstart. So if the record shows that, oh, within 2-3 hours of arresting the person, and by then you should have your evidence. It's not the person you arrest who is coming to give you the evidence. So if you can show that, oh, within 2-3 hours, you had already sent processes to the registrar, blah, blah, blah. Even then the problem will shift to the registrar. But they are saying that within 48 hours, that's the Constitution, Article 14.3, within 48 hours, present him. So a judge must be seized of the case within 48 hours, not after. You say it. So that is our law. So yes, Antoine, we are very grateful again. Though last week we were at this loggerheads over your comments on the Chief Justice matter. But I mean, we remember this since you've done. And of course, I should say good morning to Chief Justice Georgina Wood. You know, Kpebu number 2, that was Georgina Wood's time. 1 and 2. Yeah, Kpebu number 1 and 2. That was Georgina Wood leading the Supreme Court to make changes, all for our development, right? So that's it.
I do appreciate it.
Yes, and of course, last comment, our 52.5 billion. Look, let's remind Johnson Esedu, okay, the Auditor General, that he has to release a report. You know, Kofi Aflu reported this matter to Speaker Bagbin. Long story short, not much was done, and then now Kofi Aflu is gone to the OSP. But it doesn't mean that the fact that OSP is investigating this matter, Johnson Esedu should not bring out the report. He must. I mean, it's so shameful. Since December 2020, you say you bring one report. Over how many years? It's not coming. Like what the Jedu Ble Ambule said in his song, one letter, as it said, letter, exactly. They have never done with the letter.
Thank you. You've changed your hat again. This one is what?
Fedora hat.
Fedora hat.
Yes. Over the movie, there was an old classic movie, Fedora, right. And the hats are named, the number of them, different styles, but that's a Fedora hat.
Fedora hat.
Yeah.
Perfect. Fedora. Okay, so from the Fedora hat, let's go straight to the financial analyst, CEO of Delex Finance. Mr. Joe Jackson is joining us. Jackson, good morning. Thank you. Thank you.
My hat is a kufi.
It's a kufi.
Yes.
The only two people who are not wearing hats this morning is Professor Godfrey Bobking and Godwin Edujitamaklo, who has just joined us. Is
long time.
The acting CEO, in fact, the CEO of the National Petroleum Authority, is a private legal practitioner in good standing. Good morning to you, Mr. Tamaklo. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Alfred.
Perfect.
Good morning to the esteemed panel.
Wonderful. Great. Now, with Abrony's matter commented on by Lawyer Kpebu, I think we'll just move on to the matters on the table, as has been presented. As I indicated, this has been the trajectory over the period. In fact, one of the major reasons why Judge Tamaklo's presence here is important is the bulk oil distributors as well. The Bank of Ghana, on a monthly basis, has to make dollars available for the importation of finished product, even though we are blessed with crude oil as a country. That's one matter we have to deal with going forward. But Professor Bobkin, I'll start off with you on this. Because if you look at what the president said and what we have experienced in the last 7 months, there is a positive and negative that we have had to deal with the appreciation of the cedi, over 41%. Was the president right in his diagnosis that, yes, we were happy that the cedi is doing well, went far back down to 10 cedis, 22%, some were saying it should come to single digits and so on, but then again, there was a lot that was happening on the other side. Remittances going down, exports, also revenue going down, and revenue essentially of the country as well reducing. In fact, the GRA, Commissioner General, at some point also raised concerns about how this cedi appreciation is impacting on the revenues of the Ghana Revenue Authority. Was he right in the diagnosis?
Well, thank you very much, and good morning once again. The president was largely right. I think he communicated the mind of Ghanaians, but I'm not too sure every Ghanaian was happy with the aggressive pace of the appreciation, we felt that there was sound policy behind what we were seeing from the fiscal side because of the expenditure cuts, the fiscal discipline, and even the fact that the government had used the 2025 budget alone to restore the IMF program back on track. Because remember that we're supposed to do the revised fiscal targets, the primary balance of 0.5% of GDP. We ended up, because of the 2024 election, doing around 3.4% of GDP. And if you look at across almost all the indicators, with the exception of international reserves and then GDP growth and the rest of them, we did poorly relative to the IMF target. But then governments came in, used the 2025 budget to aggressively restore the program. And if you look at the expenditure cut, and I've said it before, that the first time in recent years is when we saw a government actually cutting expenditure in nominal terms. And I compared that to 2017, when a new government also took over. You realize that even though we're still under IMF program and still doing fiscal consolidation, in 2017, over 2016 expenditure base, expenditure went up by about 32% in 2017 over the 2016 base. However, in 2025, expenditure went down, in fact, in nominal terms. So all of that gave some kind of confidence and all of that. So with that fiscal discipline, the monetary side was also taking shape. And remember that the monetary side had been quite consistent as part of the IMF-supported program in building reserves. And we had indicated that the previous administration had left substantial reserves, which gave some kind of comfort also for the central bank to step in. But we were concerned about the pace of the appreciation. It was too aggressive. And so in the same breath, when the president says that a depreciation of almost 25% or so in 2024, it was unsettling, it's the same way that within 3 months, if you look at the data here, okay, April 2025 to somewhere July 2025, we are seeing almost 30% appreciation. That is how unsettling that could also be. So when we talk about price stability, and remember the exchange rate is also a price, like the price of goods, services that we talk about. So a sharp appreciation or a sharp depreciation is neither good for for the economy overall. You can count the benefits, you can count the cost and all of that. I think we had indicated broadly that what we treasure was stability, predictability. In economics, stability is not the same price over time.
Stability is not the same
as fixed price
over time. Same price over time.
No. Prices are considered to be stable if the change in price are so small, okay, so that it doesn't cause dislocations in the economy, so that it doesn't affect the economic decisions of agents. Relatively constant over a period, we will say prices are what? Stable. So in some jurisdictions, if a price variation of, let's say, between 2 and 5% occurs, we will still say there's price stability. Let's come back to our own Bank of Ghana's short-term price stability objective. If we index that by inflation, we are saying that price is still stable if we're able to achieve inflation rate of between 6 and then 10%. Between 6 and 10%. That is why we say our inflation target is 8% plus or minus 2, or like we say technically 8% with a symmetrical rate of 2%. So inflation rate between 6% and 10% is considered to be stable. Over time, if the fundamentals transform, we can revise that target to maybe 6% plus or minus 2 and all of that. So those are the things that we want to look at. I want to believe that we missed something somewhere along the line in terms of how our own understanding of the appreciation and the implication for the economy. So you realize that now we are counting our losses. Okay, what was the level of analysis and sensitivity analysis that we did from the beginning of the year or towards the end of the first quarter, which probably could have guided us? And remember, at the time that, in fact, we indicated that there was intervention in the market from the central bank. At some point, it seems to be that there was some kind of denial that there was no intervention. It was just market forces. The IMF came to town and shined the lights on that, and it indicated that we had intervened in excess of $1.4 billion.
Yes, that was in the first quarter.
Remember that I looked at, within that same period, I compared what Ghana was doing to Kenya and to Nigeria, and realized that some of these countries chose to stabilize much early in the year rather than allowing their currency to appreciate excessively, because that in itself will cause some kind of dislocations in the economy. But it's good that we are coming back to reality. Look, what we are seeing here, for me, is not surprising.
This period of depreciation of the cedi?
Yes, it's not surprising.
The almost 20% depreciation?
It's not surprising. When you see aggressive pace of appreciation, which you cannot trace to economic transformation, i.e. structural transformation, productivity transformation, of course, that is not to take away what government has done in terms of the leadership they've shown in 2025, expenditure cut, fiscal discipline, prudent monetary policy, and the rest of them. But beyond that, if you are talking about the fundamentals of the economy, it goes beyond that. You want to look at the real sector, you want to look at economic transformation, you want to see whether there are structural transformation, productivity transformation, you want to look at it across all those indicators. Then again, you also want to look at it in relation to external development, because Ghana is not an island, right? Yes. And all of that. So I think that it's not surprising. Typically, over time, if you look at the data, you realize that any time there's a sharp appreciation, like we've seen, it's usually accompanied by some reversals correcting, okay?
Especially in the last quarter. This cyclical experience of the cedi over time is what we are seeing.
Yes.
But I saw Jim Wahada Senes or bad in the Adumbi Adomania, only a same room near Sumus, Quanshan Kosokra.